Hi, Julie.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. How was your week off? How was your holiday?
Mm, Very interesting.
Yeah. How so?
Ah, uh, 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 I went to Science and Technology Museum on
Oh,
October the 3rd.
okay. Okay. How was that?
Mm, uh, Very exciting.
It was exciting. What did you see?
Uh, Robots,
Okay.
mm, human, human body, uh, and some machine.
Okay. Was it did you see things like AI, like artificial intelligence and things
Yeah.
like that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good. Okay. Did you do anything else?
Um, I I saw a film with my
You,
friend.
you saw a film?
Yeah, on October the 5th.
Okay. And was it what was the film? Was it in Chinese or was it in English?
In Chinese.
Okay. Okay. Is it a popular movie, something that I would know, or is something that's just in China?
I don't know, maybe just in China because
Mhm.
it's a new film.
Uh, okay. Okay. And anything else? How's school going?
Uh, oh, we we will have the sports meeting on October the 22nd.
And sports meeting, what is that for? What is the sports meeting for? What's it about?
Hello.
Hello? I
Okay.
can I can hear you. Yeah, what is the sports meeting? What is that for?
Uh, um, October is the sport month in our
Okay.
school,
Okay.
and we hold the sport meeting every year.
And what do you do at that meeting?
We we have many matches. Um, Volleyball, basketball, skipping ropes. Uh, uh, Short ropes and long ropes,
Okay.
and uh, running.
Okay. So it's basically a sport day where all the kids participate in these different sporting activities. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I'm getting you to I'm trying to get you to speak more and explain things because in more detail, not that you're explaining it badly, it's just that if you tell me we have a sport meet, okay, a sport meeting, I'm thinking Oh, like a meeting, like you're going to be talking about something. So everybody's sitting around a table and we're talking about sports. So, which is totally different than what I described to you. You guys are going to, everybody's going to be participating, playing in all these different sporting activities or sporting events for the entire day. So you see how there's a totally different viewpoint. So if you say we're having a sport meet or sport meeting on that day, I'm thinking, okay, everybody's going to be talking about some sports or talking about what they're going to be doing. And it's totally different than participating and playing. So that's why I'm just getting you to not the, and that's okay. You could say we're having a sport meeting that day, but now you have to explain what that sport meeting is all about. Yeah. Okay. I'm just, and the only reason I'm doing this, Julie, is just so you can, it's so you have practice speaking a lot of English. Not just one word. Like that's why I asked you about like what you did. You said, you know, you went to a science museum, and I said, how was it? You said it was very interesting. Well, if you give me one word like that, interesting, now I am really intrigued. Wow, interesting. How is it interesting? In what way? That's why I'm getting you to explain more, because you can't give me just one word and think I'm not going to ask about it. So, and I'm going to try to get you to talk in many different ways. And that's why I keep digging and digging and digging. Because eventually you're going to have to speak. So, and I'm not picking on you, Julie. I'm not picking on you. It's just I want you to speak as much as you can. That is the way we learn English. I know you can read. I already know that. And that's easy because you just have to say the words that are in front of you. But to speak English and to have a conversation going back and forth, that's more challenging. Yes. Okay. Anything else you want to share? Is there anything else that you want to share, Julie, that you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. and Julie, remember, sharing and talking, you know, it is really good. And for me, and I might be different than all of your other teachers, I don't care if you make mistakes. I could care less. Make as many as you want. I'll correct you, but that's how you learn. Okay, so you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to say the correct answer with me. Say what you are trying to say, and if it's not correct, I'll correct you, because that's how you learn. Okay. All right. The next unit was smoke jumpers. This is where we are now. So let's go ahead. I'll have you go ahead and start reading this, and then we'll talk about this.
Every year, wildfires destroy millions of hectares,
yeah.
Hectares of forest land. Homes are damaged and thousands of people die. Smoke jumpers help to stop this. What is a smoke jumper? Smoke jumpers are a special type of firefighter. They jump from planes or are lowered by helicopters into areas that are difficult to reach by car or on foot, such as the middle of a mountain forest. They race to put out fires as fast as they can. What do smoke jumpers do? At a fire site, smoke jumpers first examine the land and decide how to fight the fire. Their main goal is to stop a fire from spreading, using basic equipment such as
shovels.
shovels,
Uh-huh.
and axes. Axes. Smoke jumpers steer land of vulnerable material, like plants and other dry material. They carry water with them too, but only a limited amount.
Okay.
Who can be a smoke jumper? Although the majority of smoke jumpers are men, more women are joining. Most important are your height and weight. Smoke jumpers employed in the US, for example, must be 120 to 200 pounds, 54 to 91 kilograms, so they don't get blown away by a strong wind or get hurt when they land. Smoke jumpers must also be capable of surviving in the wilderness. In Russia, many smoke jumpers know how to find food in the forest and even make simple furniture from trees. The work is dangerous and the hours are long, but for these firefighters, smoke jumping isn't just an occupation. They love being able to jump out of planes, fight fires, and live in the forest. As 28-year-old Russian smoke jumper Alexei Tishin says, "This is the best job for tough guys."
Okay. So, and we see 1, 2, and 3 down there is with that are just little footnotes about some of the words that were used in that article. So, a shovel and an axe are just tools, right? You know what those are, right? A shovel and an axe.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry. What did you say?
Yeah. Do you know what a shovel and an axe? Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
No, they're just tools like for digging. You probably seen a shovel, it's like to dig into the dirt. The same thing with an axe is like to cut wood, right? So they need those kinds of tools when there's a fire on the ground so they can, turn the ground up and bury the fire, things like that. So they can, they don't have to use their hands. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the reading comprehension. Go ahead and read that first one and give me the best answer.
What is the reading mainly about? The life. Wait. Who smoke jumpers are and what they do.
Exactly. Good. Number 2.
Which of these is not true for smoke jumpers? They must learn to fly planes and helicopters.
Good. Okay. Number 3.
When a smoke jumper gets to a fire site, what is the first thing he or she does? Clears the land.
Actually, a better choice would probably be the first thing is study. Number D, studies the land, because they kind of want to look at it first to see what they're up against, before they start going in to actually clear it. Yeah. Okay. Number 4.
If you want to be a smoke jumper, you must be within a certain weight range.
Exactly. Good. Number 5.
In line 21, surviving in the wilderness means being able to live in the outdoors.
Exactly. Good. And number 6.
In Alexei Tishin's opinion, why do people become smoke jumpers? Uh, for the excitement.
For the excitement, good. And then the last one, number 7.
What is the main idea of the last paragraph?
Do you have the book there? Yeah. That's unit, if you have the same sequencing, that's unit 9B.
Yes, I have.
The same one, okay.
Smoke jumpers love what they do.
Exactly. Good job. Okay. Now let's go take a look at the next one where it talks about paraphrasing a sentence. And go ahead and read that first, and then we'll.
When you paraphrase a sentence, you will write it in your own words but keep the original idea. It's an important skill for many tests in English. To write paraphrased sentences, try to change both the words and the word order. Original. Being a smoke jumper is not easy. The work is not safe. Paraphrased. It's difficult to be a smoke jumper. It's dangerous work.
Okay.
Words can have more than one synonym. If you use a synonym, be sure to correct one. Ordinal. Smoke jumpers know how to find food. Paraphrase. Smoke jumpers are able to locate food. Paraphrase. So smoke jumpers are able to notice food.
Okay. And as you can see on the second one, we see that red check mark, which means that's probably not the best word. Notice is not necessarily the same thing to find, but locate is. So locate would be a better choice, a better synonym for find. So that paraphrase sentence sounds better than the second one. Okay. Let me ask you, Julie, when in English classes, not my class, but in your English classes at school, do you ever practice any kind of paraphrasing like this?
No.
Hold on. Excuse me. Okay. You said no, you don't have to do that?
No.
Okay. But it's an important skill. So if you can, try to practice that on your own. And what I mean by that is when you see a sentence written in English, see if there's another way you can paraphrase that sentence or rewrite it to say the same thing. You might choose different words, different synonyms, and that definitely will help. But it's a good practice because when you start taking those exams, those TOEFL exams or the IELTS exams or things like that later on in high school, to go to like maybe to different colleges or something like that, they'll ask you, they'll give you like long reading passages, and they don't want you writing word for word what it says. They want you to summarize it in your own words, and that's basically paraphrasing it. Okay. And if you want some practice, just let me know and I can assign you a couple of things for writing to like paraphrase. So that way it'll help you practice some things. Okay. But I'm not going to assign that to you. But if you want practice, I will help you with that. Okay. It's really an important skill in English because, and one more thing, many students in the US, I'm not saying China, but in the US, because that's where most kids go to school, go to college after. Many of them will, for essays and for homework and things like that, a lot of them, because they don't really know how to paraphrase, they'll get things right off the internet and they'll copy it word for word. And that's cheating, and they call that plagiarism, because it's somebody else's work and you're just copying it word for word as an answer. Well, in college and in these exams that you take in high school, a lot of teachers are able to detect if it's copied, because they can just put that phrase into the internet and they can find the site exactly where they got it from. And if they notice it's word for word, they'll fail the test, and they'll usually get kicked out of the class or fail the class or whatever it is. So it's a very serious type of offense that kids, a lot of kids will do. They don't really think anything of it. They don't think they're doing anything wrong, but by law, plagiarism is a serious offense, and you can't use somebody else's words word for word. You can use a couple words, but you have to change it around, and that's what we call paraphrasing. Okay, it's saying the same thing but in a different way. Yeah. Okay. Not to say that you would ever do that, but that's why it's an important skill to learn. Okay, because it can be difficult. It can be. Okay, go ahead and read number one.
Mm,
You're going to read the sentence and then choose the one that best describes a paraphrase. So, how they rewrite the sentence to make it sound better or different, I should say.
a smoke jumper's man goes to stop a fire from spreading.
Okay.
The key job of a smoke jumper is to keep a fire from spreading.
Exactly. And as you can see, we know fire from spreading, but you really can't change that around. But the same wording for main goal can be key job, right? Kind of means the same thing. And so that would be the best way to paraphrase that sentence. Okay, number two.
In Russia, there are more fires than anywhere else in the world. Russia has more fires than any other place on Earth.
Exactly. Good job. Because Earth and the world are the same thing, right? At least for us. Yeah. Okay. And number three.
Fast-moving winds can make fires more dangerous. Fires can become more dangerous when there are strong winds.
Good job, right? Strong winds, kind of the same thing as fast moving. So good job. All right. And then number B. You're going to try to do a little bit on your own here. So you're going to kind of paraphrase each of those sentences, and they kind of help you out a little bit there.
Smoke jumpers have an unusual job.
Okay.
A smoke jumper's job is unusual.
You can't use the same word. Remember, you're paraphrasing, so you're using smoke jumpers have an unusual job. What's another word or a phrase or anything we could use for unusual? You're gonna make it sound a little different.
Um, un uncommon.
Is uncommon. Okay, you could say that. I kind of gave you a hint there. I said different, so you could say a smoke jumper's job is very different, which is also unusual, not typical. Okay, but that's good. All right, number 2.
More men than women are smoke jumpers. There are more males than females. In,
I know this is more difficult than what it looks, right? That's why this is a hard skill to I don't want to say master, but to do well. I mean, it's only because you don't have practice at it. But go ahead and try it again. That put a grammatically correct sentence together, trying to say the same thing as more men than women are smoke jumpers. How else can you say that? Starting with that, there are more.
There are more male smoke jumpers than female smoke jumpers.
Okay, good job. You could say men or women. You could say there are more men smoke jumpers than women smoke jumpers. That's fine. Or female. That's okay. Good. Number 3.
Many people were injured by the fire.
Okay.
The fire hurted many people.
Hurt many people. Okay. All right. And then go ahead and read where it says critical thinking. And we'll talk about that for a moment.
Discuss these questions with a partner. How would you describe someone who works as a smoke jumper? Can you think of other jobs that are dangerous? Why do you think people decide to take these jobs?
Okay, so we'll start with the first one. So how would you describe someone who works as a smoke jumper? How would you personally, how would you describe that type of person?
Brave and great.
And what?
Great.
And great. Okay. You know I'm going to get you to speak. You gave me 2 words, brave and great. Okay, why? What makes them brave? What makes them great?
Because they, unlike firefighters, they need to jump off a plane or a helicopter to get to the place that has fire.
Okay, that'll work. And see, you did well because you gave me more details about that. You explained what those adjectives you were talking about, brave and great. To me, those are just 2 words. Okay, but what do you mean by that? And now you gave me more details. Okay, good job. All right, how about the second one? the part where it says, can you think of other jobs that are dangerous?
Soldier.
Okay. Can you phrase that into a sentence instead of a word?
Because they need to fight against the enemies.
Okay.
And they maybe they may die in a war.
In war. Okay, good job. And then the last one, why do you think people decide to take these jobs? Try to explain that or give that to me in a complete sentence. Why do these people, like you said, becoming a soldier or a smoke jumper, why do you think people decide to take those jobs?
Because for smoke jumpers, they can put out the fires and protect people's safety.
Hold on. I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you there just because you're just telling me a little bit more from what you originally told me about a job. But I'll give you like 3 other jobs. And this is just in general. So I just want you to tell me why they take these jobs. A police officer, that's a dangerous job. A firefighter, that's a dangerous job. Like you said, somebody who's in the military, who's a soldier, that's a dangerous job. Somebody who works at a nuclear power plant, that's a dangerous job. Somebody who, jumps into the ocean for search and rescue, that's a dangerous job. Okay, so those are all types of dangerous jobs. What I want you to do is to kind of tell me your opinion on why people take those types of dangerous jobs. Don't tell me about the jobs, but tell me about them. Why do they take those types of dangerous jobs? What is it about them that?
Because they want to protect people and help their countries.
Okay. And I see what you're saying, but that might not be always the case. A lot of it is, and I think you're just looking, maybe there's an absence of words that you have. A lot of people like excitement. They like change. They like, the adrenaline of not knowing what to expect in their job. For example, somebody who goes to an office to work every day, that works on a computer. Okay, they might have an interesting, an exciting job to them, but it's not dangerous. It's not, they're not going to die from it. They may get a backache. They may get, eye strain looking at a computer all day, but it's not, it's not life-threatening like a lot of these dangerous jobs are. But in my opinion, those jobs are not, risk-taking like a firefighter or a police officer or somebody, search and rescue and things like that. But I'm just trying to get you to use different adjectives and to describe a person that takes those types of jobs. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to vocabulary. See if we can pick the correct meaning.
If something is limited, it is not enough.
Okay, and number 2.
If it destroys something, it can never be used again.
Okay, number 3.
We measure height in centimeters or inches.
Yeah, and 4.
If a book is in the middle of the table, it is in the center of the table.
Okay, good job. And as you can see, once again, that's kind of another short of example of a paraphrase, or using a different word. Instead of using middle, they use center. Yeah. So, and it's basically the same thing. It says the same thing about that sentence. Okay, and number B, under the completion, go ahead and choose the best word in those sentences.
During the week, 18-year-old student A.J. Constant lives with his family, but on the weekend, Constant lives and works at a fire station, where he is employed as a volunteer firefighter. Several times each weekend, he has to race to the scene of a fire.
Okay, good.
To get the job, Carsten had to take classes and learn different safety skills. He also had to learn to use different firefighting equipment, axes, special flashlights, and other tools. When Carsten was capable of using this, he was allowed to work inside burning buildings. Although firefighters spend the majority of their time putting out fires, they also help people who have had accidents. This, says Custon, is one of the most important parts of a firefighter's occupation.
Occupation. Good job. Good job. Okay. And go ahead and read where it says word link.
We can add ment to some verbs to form nouns. These nouns often describe an action, a process, or a state of being.
Okay.
Employment, encouragement, or an object or a place, equipment, settlement.
Okay. All right. So that's the suffix of meant, how that can change to form nouns. Okay. Viewing a wildfire photographer. We're not going to be able to watch that, so we're going to just kind of, we'll skip that one. No, yeah, we'll skip that part after you watch. Okay, let's go on under number 10 now, uncovering the past. What are those? What have you seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are those the terracotta?
Yes.
Soldiers? Yeah. Okay. And you visited that? Okay. Okay. I would like, when if I ever make it to China, I would like to see that myself. I haven't been to China yet. Okay. Uncovering the past. Let's go ahead and read the little sub caption there where it says uncovering the past, the famous clay soldiers. Go
ahead. The famous clay soldiers in Xi'an, China, remained hidden for more than 2,000 years until their discovery in 1974.
That's cool. So since you've been there, how long ago has that been since you've seen those terracotta or those clay soldiers? Has it been a while?
Dozens of years.
It's been a few years.
Yes.
Okay, but you remember it though? You
Yeah.
remember it? Yeah. Okay. Um. Okay. Go ahead and read question. Tell me anything. Tell me something about it. Tell me something that you remember.
It is said that the Terracotta Warriors had had colors on itself when just discovered, but
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
but after many years, the colors disappear.
Okay. And when you saw them, where were they held up pretty good? Were they all pretty much intact, or was a lot of them broken, or
Most of them are fixed.
or fixed? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it and were there a lot of them?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And are you allowed to touch them?
No.
No, not at all, huh? Okay.
We can just see them in a distance.
And you can take pictures though, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, you can take pictures, but you can't go close to them. All right, that's cool. And I'm trying to think of what else. How tall were they? Best guess. I mean, what would you say?
About 1.8 meters.
Meters. Okay. Okay. All right. And then go ahead and read where it says the warm up with the questions.
What do you think the purpose of the clay soldiers was?
Do you know that?
The first emperor of the Qing dynasty uh uh, uh when he died, uh, uh other uh, oh I remember, his son let many people make these terracotta warriors and buried them with his father in the tomb.
In the tomb. Okay.
Tomb.
Okay. And why did he do that? Was that to protect the tomb? The soldiers to protect the tomb of the important Chinese ruler?
In ancient time, all the emperors must have something valuable in his tomb.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. How about number 2?
Can you think of other famous discoveries in the last 100 years?
Can you think of any other, or I don't know if you've ever read or heard about any other ones in history in the last 100 years? And it could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be China. It could be anywhere. And I mean, I know of one only because I visited there as well a few years ago, and that is Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is in South America. It's in Peru, and it is it's a famous archaeological site that's on the mountaintop in discovered by the Incas, right? And that's a type of people that lived back there. It was only discovered like in the early 1900s. I think it was 1911 or 1912, something like that. So, and that's a little over 100 years ago, but that's a famous landmark that people visit every day. So it's really cool. It looks like a little city. But that was discovered in Peru. Anything, and I know they're always discovering, especially in Africa, off the coast of Madagascar, they're always discovering a lot of different types of fossils of either dinosaurs, things like that, or just different type of sea creatures. And I know that's almost a continual thing that they discover a lot. That's what I know. Can you think of it? Yeah. Okay. What about number 3?
What are some famous ancient monuments in your country?
Any famous monuments that you can think of?
What does monument mean?
Those are like the statues and things that are dedicated to famous people that maybe have done important work or something for your country. Landmarks. Something of importance. And maybe, I don't know if you've been to any of them or so, but there's you've heard of the Great Wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a famous monument in your country. What else? Now you know. Don't you have something else called like the Forbidden City in Beijing?
Yeah.
Or the Palace Museum, they call it. Yeah. All right. Julie, I haven't even been there. Okay. So, and I've heard of these places. Anything else? Anything else that you can think of? And if not, I heard another one called the Lama Temple. I don't know. I've heard about that one. It's in Beijing, called the Lama Temple. No,
I don't know too.
You don't know that one? Okay. And that's okay. Maybe you don't know a lot of them, but I know you've heard of the Great Wall. Have you been there? Have you been to the Great Wall?
Yeah.
You have. Okay. So you've seen that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and continue. You're going to go ahead and just kind of complete that paragraph if you can.
Can you imagine digging in your yard one day and finding a life-size soldier made completely of clay? That's what happened several decades ago when farmers in Xi'an, China, were digging wells. Archaeologists have since found about 6,000 more of these soldiers, along with horses, weapons, tools, and other artifacts. The huge army was meant to protect the tomb of the first ruler of China. The above shows how it might have originally looked.
Okay, so that's kind of like a picture of what they were kind of thinking it may have made. Okay, so go ahead and see if you can put in those words from the passage that are in bold into the correct sentence.
Archaeologists are scientists who study objects from the past.
Okay. And number 2.
Artifacts is a person in a large fighting group. Sorry.
Artifact, no. That's number
So
2.
sorry. Number 2, artifacts are objects that people made in the past, such as tools.
Yeah, and number 3.
Or
I didn't hear you, Julia. What was number 3?
Yes, number 3. A soldier is a person in a large fighting group or army.
Okay. And then number 4.
A tomb is a place where a dead body is kept.
Okay. And taking a look on number B, go ahead and read that one.
Hello.
Hello. I can hear you.
I read B.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay, so why do you think? Why do you think that the clay soldiers today are brown and not in full color? Like that. Why are they looking brown? How do you?
Because the paint let me think how to say.
Once again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of tell me what you think. Any idea?
No.
No. This is what I think. I just think I know when things are buried and if they're made of, certain materials or whatever, through oxidation and whatnot, when color and things are exposed to, I guess, air, things oxidize and change, chemically over the years. So I think when they were probably dug up, when they're exposed to the air during that excavation of that digging up, they probably changed colors to that bronze, that terracotta kind of look, that brown color, and that's going to disappear. Yeah. Okay, well, let's stop here just because we're going to be starting a whole section of reading and whatnot. So we'll come back here in our next session. Julie, do you have any questions though before we go?
No.
Anything on here? No. Any plans for the weekend? What are you going to do this coming weekend? What are you going to be doing this weekend? Anything?
Nothing special.
No, just study, homework. Homework?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So I know there's just a delay. I know with the I always think you hear me, and I think sometimes you don't. So you don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. Anyway, with that, hey, Julie, enjoy the rest of your week. Have fun at school tomorrow, and I will see you next week. Okay, and we'll pick up here.
Okay.
And remember, just once again, I'm going to throw this out there. If you're ever interested in any kind of practice of like paraphrasing, something like that, I can always give you like a little homework, like a little paragraph, and then you read it, and then you rewrite it in your own words. So if you ever want any kind of practice like that, just let me know, and I'll be happy to do that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anyway, okay. Have a good week. I will see you next week. Okay.
You too.
Okay. Bye, Julie.
Bye.